Roots are all evil.
So what's going on, my people? So tonight we have a special. I know I always say we got a special treat, but this one right here is different. So we got Miss Tina Hutchison, and we got Fox 6 News in here too, because she's a big deal. So I'm gonna step back out the way. I'm gonna let her do her thing, let them do their thing, and you'll see.
All right.
So for folks who don't know, can you just kind of remind us of who you are and, let's just start.
Why we're here?
Yeah, why we're here.
Okay. The reason why we're here is I held a 40-year record at San Diego State. And Juju Watkins just broke that record. It was actually 41 years, and she just broke that record. So I live here in the state of Alabama. Actually, I'm from here. And I've been all over. I went to Carver High School in the early 80s. And then from there, I went to Illinois, to East St. Louis Lincoln. And from Illinois to San Diego State to college. So once she broke my record, okay, so I guess you guys say that, okay, Tina's a big deal, but Tina's always been a big deal. Tina Hutchison name has always been a big deal. Not trying to pat myself on the back or anything, or give myself any accolades or anything of the sort. But in 1983, I was the #1 player in the nation coming out of high school. So with that being said, that speaks for itself.
So what was your reaction, and what was what was the initial response as they were approaching this record being broken?
Well, let me tell you this. Somebody dropped the ball, okay? Because I was not informed. Okay, you got to think, 40 years ago, my mind, 40 years ago, you know what I was doing 40 years ago? So I didn't even know. And the record probably would have been higher than that. I scored 898 points a single season my freshman year. So I'm looking on Facebook and I see my picture. And I'm saying, is this a joke? They're saying Juju Watkins is X amount of points from breaking Tina Hutchison's record, freshman record at San Diego State. I'm like, wow, I didn't know it was that many, 898. But now you got to keep in mind, the reason why she was able to do that is because 3 reasons. Number 1, 3-point line. I know everybody is tired of hearing about this 3-point line, but when I scored 898 points, we only had the 2. I did it the hard way. Number 2, the men's ball. I did it with the men's ball, okay, which is the larger ball. Number 3, they played more games in a regular season than we did back then. I don't know why they changed the outfit of that, but they're playing more games. So she was able to knock me out of the park in not just 1 way, 2 ways, 3 ways. So she came for me and she got me. I mean, like my church member said, records are made to be broken. That's why they're called records.
That's fair.
That's right.
What was your reaction when she did break it?
I actually was happy for her because that gave her more accolades, and it actually brought back a name that I thought had been buried for 41 years.
You felt forgotten?
I felt forgotten. And when she broke my record and everybody was reaching out on Facebook, reaching out, I'm like, are you serious? And even when she got down to the 8 points, I felt like I should have been sitting right there when they played Baylor, when she broke the record. But for some reason, somebody, I don't know whether it was San Diego State, I don't know whether it was the NC2A, I don't know, USC could have invited me because when Caitlin Clark broke Lynette Woodard's record from the University of Kansas, she was invited to be right there because they knew that Caitlin Clark was going to break that record. So I don't know who dropped the ball on that, but
it was a missed opportunity.
It was a missed opportunity, and it was a little heartening for me, as a player, because I worked really, really hard for my status. I worked really, really hard for my name. Blood, sweat, and tears is what we live by. East St. Louis, Illinois.
And you brought up a lot of the popular names of the women's game right now, and you talk about the work ethic. When you step back and you look at where things are now versus where they used to be, what do you think?
Well, the game, to be honest with you, the game has come a long ways. Women's basketball has come a long ways. That was one of the reasons why I left the state of Alabama because, as you know, back in the 70s, the early 80s, everybody focused their attention toward the men. The women got no recognition at all. And that year, that summer actually, the summer of 80, I went to a basketball camp in Middlesfield, Georgia. It's one of the biggest camps that anybody who is somebody would be at that camp, and even college coaches. Well, anyway, I was at that camp and in Middlesfield, Georgia, the BC All-Star Camp. And that's where I met Coach Ernest Rillings. And he was saying that, hey, we know that basketball here in the South, it's not popular for the women. If you want your name to get out, if you want to be well-known in basketball, hey, how about coming Midwest? So I went home and talked with my mom about it. I was real excited. But I was just a kid, keep in mind. A kid that wanted to travel, a kid that wanted her name, to get out. Because I knew I had something special. I knew that I could play basketball at an early age. I knew that already. Because I used to follow my uncle around. He went to Phillip High School. And he used to hang with Enos Watley, nickname Emo. So, the thing about that is, basketball was an outlet for me when things were going south, when things weren't going well in my life. I could always grab a basketball and go shoot. And it seemed like the world was mine.
You were passionate about it.
Very passionate. Eat, sleep, drink, thought basketball.
You still play? You still hoop?
No, I'm not as passionate as I was back then for the simple fact, as you know, I didn't play on the 84 Olympics. And there was a reason being for that. From what I understand, it was politics involved. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to shoot straight from the hip. It was politics that was involved. At first they said that my coach didn't get the paperwork in on time. Then it was said that he didn't receive the paperwork. So now which is it? He didn't get it in on time or he didn't receive it. Well, he's deceased now, so we can't ask him. So I think it was a lot of politics that was involved because of the simple fact that Tina Hutchison was going west. Cheryl Miller was already established out there. So they didn't want Tina Hutchison, quote, Cheryl Miller to be on the same court at the same time. Yeah, I know it seems a little ironic and mundane, but that's what happened. And her coach at the time, Linda Sharp, I think she's the corporate behind all of this. Blackballing me, not wanting me to play on certain national teams because Cheryl Miller, and her brothers Daryl and Reggie, they're already household names. I was making a name for myself. Tina Hutchison. Who is Tina Hutchison? Everybody wants to know. So when I went out west with my talent and my high school coach, they found out exactly who Tina Hutchison was. Mm. So
is it exciting for you, or what are your thoughts seeing how much the women's game has been thrusted into the public light now? I think this is the most interest we've seen in years.
It is. It really is. And it's due to the fact of these girls are shining now. And when Caitlin Clark was hitting all of those three-pointers, and she was shooting them from so deep, it caught everybody's eye. But I tell you, if I, 165 pounds, 6'2", 6'3", an excellent shooter, excellent post-up person, was playing with that small ball, I could shoot it from the hash mark too, and maybe from the half court. So, the ball being smaller, it does make a difference. It's much lighter. That men's ball is so much heavier. And then we're talking about a 2-point versus a 3-point. So yeah, it's a big difference. I had to get mine the hard way.
I mean, somebody had to come behind you 41 years. That it speaks to it.
It speaks volume. It does speak volume, but still, 41 years shooting twos in the early 80s. What does that say for the game of basketball? Or what does that say for the athlete such as myself? That I work very hard. And you can achieve any of your goals if you work hard. And that's what life is all about, working hard. It's good to be alive, but it's best to live. So when I was playing basketball, I was living the life of Riley. It was awesome.
And is that what you would say to the kids coming up behind you, kids coming up today?
Yes, hard work pays off in the end. It's a young girl, I can't think of her name. I coach at AAU with the Alabama Twisters. And this young girl was so impressive. I think she's in the 5th or the 6th grade. And she reminded me so much of myself at that age. Now, her jump shot is just totally ugly, because mine was totally ugly until I got to St. Louis, and my brother, Ernest Riggins Jr., we would go day in and day out practicing on my shot, because, it was something terrible, but it would go in. That's all that mattered. But me, I like the style and profile. I like to look good, okay? And that's the type of guy he was, He liked to look good. So, girl, we need to work on your shot. But anyway, this young girl, she is going to be something to reckon with. And I just don't want to see kids of her nature, the talent that she's got. I don't want to see her fall by the wayside. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm going to need some help, some funding with this young girl. I don't want her to not have the opportunity that I had, because I had a chance to get out, and I was able to get out, okay? Now, I don't know the situation with her homestead. I don't know. That's not important. But I just want her to have a chance to get out of here.
The same opportunities, because you believe she has the same talent.
Yes, at an early age. Talent is, just awesome.
So is that a call to the community to help out?
Yes, I'm going to set up. It's not going to be a GoFundMe. It's not nothing like that, but it's going to be something of the sort to help young girls that are lacking, but that's got the talent, but just need some help along the way. We all need some help along the way, to try to reach our goals. Dreams. Don't let your dream die. Dreams are very important. It could either make you or break you. It could either put you up or it could put you down. So dreams, we all have them. We all have had them. But the important thing is we all need a little help sometime. I got the help that I needed. And I just don't want to see this young girl fall by the wayside with her talent.
We could talk all day.
Yeah, we you know what? We could talk all day, because people that know me know that I am a talker. Okay, because I love people and I love to help people. I think that would be one of my callings. Is to help. I know I can't save the world. I'm not trying to save the world, but if I could help one person along my journey, then my living is not in vain. In basketball, if this young girl can get out, if basketball is her way out, I want to help her to get out and not to get stagnant, not to get stuck. Because that's what we are called to do, is to help one another, to build up, not to ever tear down. And I don't want to see her momentum fall by the wayside. I don't want to see anyone tearing her down, saying what she can't do, because we can and she can. But I think she needs a chance. And it's not just her. It's some other young ladies that's out there. So I don't want to just focus all my attention, because she reminds me a lot of me. I don't want to just focus all my attention on her. I want people to be able to come to Tina Hutchison. And this is my baby brother, Sterling. is the name of it is going to be something to the fact sterling silver basketball all-star. It's going to be something to that fact in remembrance of my baby brother. But I want to give these girls a chance that they may not have, with running a camp and to enhance their talents or to pull that talent out of you. That's what distinguished Nick Saban from all the rest of the coaches. Nick Saban is a great coach because he's able to pull that talent out of these young men. Talent they didn't even know that they had. And by the time they leave the University of Alabama, they're men first. And then they go to school for academics and then athletics.
Jeff, you got anything before we wrap it up?
Okay. Question from you that I didn't, because like I said, the last guy, he did, they did the camera. He asked me a couple of questions and, just wanted me to elaborate on this, that, and the other. So if you're good, I'm good. But I would like to say one thing, let's give each other a chance. Okay? That's all I'm asking. If we fail, we fail. But guess what?
We tried.
We tried. And my grandmother used to always say, nothing fails but a try.
Yeah.
That is true if you think about it. If we never tried, how would we know that we can or we can't?
No.
You don't.
Let's say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
That's right. That's right. But guess what? I'm going to take them. I want it. I'm going to take it. If we down 2 and it's 10 seconds, okay, give it to me.
Somebody got to take it.
Somebody got to take it because either one or two things going to happen. Either I'm going to make it or miss it. But guess what?
You took it.
I took it. Okay?
Right.
So that's what we are with this thing, But hey, let's just give these girls a chance, to get out. And I'm not going to even say hood because I don't like that. I don't like calling it a hood or, a hood is a bad place. I don't know where this young girl lives. No, she lives I know she lives in a neighborhood, but I just want to help, these young girls that have come behind me. And I think that that's very important to keep them off the streets, to keep them, away from drugs, to keep them away from guys that don't mean them no good. Okay? I want to give them a chance to get an education and to make something out of themselves. See, that's what life is all about, lifting us up. Okay?
You ended right there. You got plenty.
Good. Yeah. You stayed down there that long. That's all I want to know. Look, because it was hard for me to sit that long.